Alright, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Of course, it's D here. The first video was my introduction video, but this is now going to be my second introduction video. In this introduction video, I'm going to go more into details about myself, because in the first video I feel like I didn't. And I feel like in order to me to properly represent my channel and what I'm going to be doing on my channel, I have to give y'all a full little backstory on why I'm doing why I'm doing what I'm doing on my channel. Okay, so for starters, my channel, starting with this channel, I have a video I'm about to put out actually after this video about depression. So my channel is mostly going to be about spirituality, mental clarity, release, restore, and embrace. So basically improvement, life improving, and helping people improve themselves in ways I feel like is going to actually help people, not just little information. Okay, because I don't like to just give y'all a little here, a little there. I like to go into full details, especially if I'm giving out information. Like, I want to make sure that all the information that I'm giving out is valid, for one, and for two, it's reasonable and it's actually going to help. So yeah, hopefully y'all understand what I'm talking about. Okay, but yeah, so a little about me. Again, my name is Deshana. I'm doing this channel because I've been through my own challenges as far as life in general, depression. When it comes to, this is where I really want to start with, is depression. So since my first video is over depression, I'm going to go ahead and talk about my depression. So then when I put out the video over the depression, y'all can already understand my side of the story. I would probably try to always give my point of view and then give out the video. So yeah, so a little about me when I was depressed. First off, I want to say this. Let me start by saying this. Sorry. Okay, depression. I feel like depression is a very big deal. That's another reason I'm talking about this, because it's a very big deal, and it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse. And I feel like the only reason people go through depression is because we don't understand how to properly channel our emotions and things like that. But anyways, let me get into the video about me and my side of the story, because then I'll put that into the video. Okay, I'll just put that, okay. So yeah, so growing up, when I was young, depression, I want to say, started for me probably like around, maybe somewhere around the age of 10, when I started getting, I was bullied in school. Okay, I was bullied in school, at least according to me. But that's why I said I gotta get deeper into the video, but yeah, but at that time, in the mental state that I was in, when I was in that depressed mental state, I used to always feel like I was bullied. I used to feel like nobody loved me. I felt like I was crazy. For one, I was like, where are these thoughts coming from? Why do I feel this way about myself? And like, it was just a lot, especially being young as a kid, and then not having that guidance or having someone to teach you about your emotions, about how to balance them, how to understand them, and where they come from, or just understand you in general. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of times in the society we live in today, excuse the background noise, y'all, I'm outside, but it's hard to find people who actually understand themselves, emotionally, especially emotionally, because depression is more so of an emotional state, and it's a whirlwind of emotions, And so me growing up, it was harder for me, I feel like, because I was already sensitive. I was getting bullied in school. And then I had my shit going on at home, you know, and then I had my own shit in my own head. Like, you know, hopefully this video don't get, you know, taken down, you know, all the but yeah, like I was going through my own phases. Like, y'all, I used to pee on myself too. I'm gonna put it out there, you know. This is something I used to never want to tell people, but I'm gonna put it out there. I used to pee on myself too, and that also caused a lot for me. So for me, like, I used to get really sad, I used to get really depressed, I used to be in a whirlwind of emotions. Like, I used to be so angry, and you know, and it was anger that I started to build up with myself, to where I hated myself, you know what I mean? And I hated myself so bad, like I can't even explain how bad I hated myself. I used to judge every little thing that I did. And you know, when you don't have like friends around you, like, how can I say it? I had friends around me, but I don't feel like they fully understanded me like I understood them. Like, I always felt like I was the person who understood people more than they understood me. You know what I mean? So it was like always harder for me, you know, and I would always hide my emotions, you know, and I didn't want to show emotions. I would cry and I'd be like, why are you crying? What is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Because like, oh, you shouldn't be crying. Because, you know, it's crazy that a lot of guys, they'd be like, oh, you know, because I know it's mostly for guys. They'd be like, oh, toughen up, you shouldn't cry. Girls get the same thing, especially if you live in an aggressive household. Like, I ain't gonna say aggressive, but it was a little aggressive, okay? But like, and you, especially me, well, I stayed with a lot of men in my family. It was more men in my house than it was women. So I had that toughen up, you know what I'm saying? So for a girl, I feel like that was harder for me, because it's like, well, I'm a girl and you want me to be her. But as I got older, I started to understand all of these things. Like, I started to like see these things from a different point of view, and it took me a while to get fully out of my depression. Like, I was so depressed, like all the way up to high school. I want to say I didn't really get out of my depression fully until after high school. It's crazy to say, but it's so true. Like, people go through depression for years. This is not just a state of, and that's why I feel like people also have to like understand, like, depression is something that you like, you people live in that every day. And then another thing I didn't understand either was, like, I was thinking with the wrong side of my brain. You know, I was thinking unconsciously. You know, I was always quick to react, quick to respond, but I would never think about the entire situation. I would never look at the full situation. So I feel like doing that, it had caused me to be more impulsive. I was more aggressive than what I am now, because I've worked through these things, but I was more aggressive. Like I can't even explain it. Like, I used to I used to be a little way more aggressive than what I am today. Like, now I'm been able to balance out my, I'm not gonna say like it's gonna go away, because it's not gonna go away. That aggression is still gonna be there, but it's just like how you redirect it, and how you know, how can I say this anyway? It's how you transform it, basically. So yeah, so I was aggressive, and yeah, and my childhood, like, some of the shit I've been through, like, people would never thought I've been through. Like, you know what I mean? But people don't understand, like, especially adults. I feel like, because I'm only 23. Yeah, I'm only 23. But I feel like in the adults, like the older people in our generation nowadays, they were born to be tough, made to be tough. Like, you gotta be out there. You gotta do it. Especially, you know, our people. Okay, you know, it was like we had to put that work in, because that's all we know is put that work in. Especially like over here, anyways. But everywhere you go, people gonna put that work in. You get what I'm saying? But the thing is, there's nothing wrong with putting the work in. See, that was never our problem. Our problem was never the work. It was the mentality of the work. You see what I'm saying? It was the mental strain from doing the work. You see what I mean? We over excessed ourselves. Like we pushed ourselves over the limit, over the max, right? Because that's what we're used to. But see, the working ethic is not the problem. But nowadays, nobody want to work for shit. Lazy as hell. Nobody wants to work. People need to work. It's not the working that's the problem, because the working is what makes the world go around. That's what people have to realize, that we have to work. We have to work. Though nobody wants to work, we have to work. Whether you're working for yourself at home or you're working for somebody else, you still have to put in some work. And that's another thing. You can't see progress without work. So, me being me, after I came out of my depression, I ain't gonna say I just came right out of it, because mind you, it took time. Like, this is what, 2023? And I just got here. Like, I just got here. Like, that's what a lot of people don't understand. And when I say I just got here, that means I just got into a state of being in full control of my own self-being. Being full in control of who I am, and understanding who I am fully to the T, and seeing when I fall off, you see what I'm saying, and where I have to pick myself up again. And that's really what it is. And I feel like that's where we fall into depression, because we don't know how to pick ourselves up again. You see what I mean? So we have to learn how to pick ourselves up again. So that's why in this video, the next video that I put out, I'm going to go into details about depression and ways to re-involve that energy and turn that energy into something positive, something greater. Because I used to sit in my energy of depression, and like I said, it caused me to hate myself. But you have to realize sometimes it's not even, depression is not always from self-infliction. See, and that's what I had to understand. That's what I had to realize. Because the whole time I'm thinking, it's all me. I'm inflicting all this onto myself, but it was never me. It was stuff that I was getting from everybody else, and how everybody else felt about me, inflicting everybody else's way, and how everybody else saw me onto me, which caused me to hate myself. Because, well, it's like, what am I doing wrong, right? And sometimes I do be having those thoughts, but then I have to remind myself, am I doing something wrong? And then a little bit says no. So you know what I mean. And that's another thing, we have to understand what voices really ours, because we have a lot of outside influences that can come in at any moment and take over our brain. Whether you want to say it or not, it's the honest God truth. Like, people can say one thing and that shit will stick with you all day. When I say stuff like that, that's what I mean. People come in you, they say one thing about you and it hit you all day. You need to get some work. You need to look at yourself again and ask yourself questions like, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like I have to please everybody? And that was another thing I had to work on too. People pleasing. Let me tell you. Anyways, people pleasing. Like, I had to work on conserving myself from other people, like my energy, my time, my money, my feelings, like everything about me. I had to conserve my mind, like everything, because people take advantage. People are so quick to take advantage. And the sooner I started to realize that I was really being taken advantage of by the people around me, and that it wasn't just depression that was the depression that was being inflicted on me, it wasn't just depression, it was the people around me. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're in an environment, a toxic environment, how can you expect any positivity? You see what I mean? How can you be positive if you're around people all the time who don't care about you, or you always feel like, oh, I have to prove myself? That's another thing. You don't have to prove anything to anybody, okay? Remember that. Don't prove anything to anybody but the Most High, okay? Anybody else, who cares? Who cares? As long as he knows, you knows, well, whom he or she may be, and me, myself, as long as I know, Most High knows, Great Spirit, that's all that matters. All that other shit that everybody talking about, that don't matter to me. Because what does that really have to do with me? You telling me, and no, I don't care, And it's just like, that's how you have to be sometimes, because it's people who are going to force themselves onto you, not just physically, but energetically, mentally. They're going to try to force themselves onto you. But if you don't know what that looks like, and you don't know how you're being, mentally manipulated or physically manipulated, you don't know what it looks like, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to know that. You know what I mean? And I didn't know that. I had to learn that. And honestly, I've been on my spiritual journey for 6 years. Oh my gosh, it's been 6 years. It's been 6 years since I've been doing this. Well, and I've been doing this all by myself. And I know that's the hardest thing. Like, I know that it's the hardest thing is to be doing it by yourself. But I realized I have to do it by myself for myself. Because if I do it with anybody else, it's not going to help me, because I'm going to still be reflecting them onto me, and I need to be reflecting me onto me, So, yeah. So, yeah, but, what was I saying? Yeah. I forgot what I was saying. But, yeah, it took me a while to get where I am today, and especially women out there, like, use your discernment. Let me tell you something. When I started learning about discernment and intuition, we all have it. We all have gifts. We all have intuition. I can say that. We all have intuition. Whether you want to say we don't, we do. Man or woman. That's how you use it. And, yeah. But anyways, let me get back to the topic. So, yeah, I was depressed anyways for like a while. And the crazy part is, like, people don't think I go through shit. That's what irritates my soul the most. Is when people sit up here try to look at me and say, you ain't been through this. You ain't had enough heartbreaks. You ain't did this. Because, okay, example. I'm going to give y'all an example. Auntie, right? I had, she had her daughter, basically, she went through a heartbreak of a marriage for some years or whatever. Cool. I ain't gonna say it's cool, but you get what I mean. But it's just like, she was saying, I was basically giving her kind, encouraging words and telling her, don't let that, get her down into, what I'm saying, grow from it, because we were out and she went to go, how people want to go, do, which is nothing wrong with that. But the girl wasn't feeling confident about it at the time. So I was telling her, if that's not what you want to do, don't do it. But they were telling me, everybody else was like, oh, you can't say that because you haven't been through a heartbreak. Just because I've only been in a few relationships, I've only been in one, okay? But still, just because that one can teach you a whole lot. That's the thing. That's why I hate when people say, oh, you haven't been through a lot. How are you going to tell me what I've been through? Are you living inside of me? No. So that's another thing. Don't let other people try to make your problems or your stories or what you've been through seem small to them just because they feel like their shit's bigger. It's the same shit. Okay? You can't really compare an experience. An experience is something that it happens. Like, I can understand, for say, right? Well, no, I can't even say that. But I was going to try to use another example, but I can't even say that because experiences, they vary on the person. And the thing is, like, it's how you learn the experience. It's not my fault I learn experiences faster than you do. You get what I'm saying? It's not my fault I'll learn my lesson. You know what I'm saying? And I won't go back to it. You see, that's the thing where people are like, oh, I went through this for years. But you chose that. You chose that. You saw it. You stuck with it. And you knew it wasn't shit. I saw it. I seen it. And I left this shit. That's the difference. But don't try to discard my experience because you chose to stay in yours. And that's all I'm saying. But anyways, with that being said, don't let people make you feel small. Don't let people reflect on you. You know what I mean? Be who you want to be. You don't have to be like anybody else. Because half these people I ain't gonna say half these people, but a lot of people are lost, and it's the truth. Whether people want to admit it or not, it's the truth. You know how I know? Because I was lost. Like, I got so many stories, like, about, like, mental clarity. Like, it's crazy. It's even sexuality. I was sexually confused at one point, but you would have never knew. Especially the people who know me, you would have never knew. You would have never knew, right? But it's because I didn't put it out there. And I was working on my own mental thought process. Because I was so used to seeing everybody else and how everybody else was moving. And I was getting caught up, oh, I need to be like everybody else. But the more I tried to be like everybody else, the more I was destroying myself. You see what I'm saying? And so when you trying to be like everybody else, you're really destroying yourself, because now you're lost about who you are. You're like, now you have to find yourself all over again. And you're like, well, damn. This was me from the jump, but I chose to hide who I was because I wanted to fit in. I was one of those people. Like, I wanted to fit in, but at the same time, I didn't really give a fuck. But at the same time, because I was already used to the naysayers and stuff like that. So after a while, I just said, F everybody. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, it put me into... Only thing I would say, if I would tell myself back then, was to love myself more. You know what I'm saying? Love myself more. Embrace myself more. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be a lot of people around you who don't love themselves. It's gonna be a lot of people around you who don't know what to do in life. You know what I'm saying? But just because they don't know what to do with themselves doesn't mean I don't know what I need to do with myself. Just because they don't have nothing to do don't mean I should join. Just because they do that don't mean I have to. Like, I can still do things. I can still move shit. Like, you can move shit. We all move shit. How you think the world go around? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we have to open up, you know, and we have to release ourselves from trauma, because trauma is another source of depression. I went through trauma, my own personal trauma, which I would do in another video, because I tell you I have stories, and that's why I be tired when people want to sit here and try to tell me I ain't been through nothing. So since people want to talk about what I've been through, let me talk about what I've been through, okay? Anyways, but yeah, like, trauma, it really affects people, and that was another part of my depression that I had not realized. But let me tell you how I started off my spiritual journey real fast. Let me tell you all real fast. So during my spiritual journey, it was like, I'm gonna say like a year, or it was about a year like after I graduated, so like 2019. I was I had moved out of town from my hometown, separated from everybody. My friends, I had friends. I don't have any friends now, and I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I ain't got nobody, but I'm happy and satisfied. But I mean, I got people. I'm not saying I ain't got people, because I got people. But yeah, for a while, like, I had friendships. Like, I loved my friends at that time. Don't get me wrong. But I realized we were all going through our own shit. And I realized that I was looking at everybody's life. And I had looked at the friendships that I had. And when I started questioning things like, who am I? Where do I even fit in? Like, it was a lot of times, like, I was with my friends. Like, I ain't gonna lie, growing up, everybody used to always tell me, like, the friends you have, you know, you shouldn't hang around them. Blase, blase. I heard that all the time. Like, and I never cut them off. I did, but I didn't. It was like a on and off, on and off, on and off. And that was another thing I realized I had an issue with. I had an issue with letting people go. But I overcame, praise him. but I had an issue with letting people go at that time that I didn't realize. Like, especially, I knew they weren't good for me. I'm not gonna say all my friends weren't good for me, but you outgrow people. You know what I'm saying? So where, like, shit don't fit you no more. You know what I'm saying? So where you just like, okay, it's not as fun as it used to be. You know, it's not as cool, you know, as it once was. Let me tell you, if you ever feel like you're tired of doing something, that's because you outgrown it. It's time for you to move on and do something different. And don't be stuck sitting there trying to make shit fun and you know you're not feeling it. Girl, get that out your mouth. Get it out your mouth. Stop eating stuff. Sorry, y'all, I got a dog. Stop it, Swatiti. Gosh. she's so cute, but she bad. But anyways, but yeah, I had to learn that I had to let people go, you know. And when I started properly letting things go, I ain't gonna lie, I just started properly letting things go this year. Like being able to fully release, fully detach. And the thing is, I was hard on myself the whole time through my spiritual journey. Like, I was like, you ain't doing this right. Girl, you don't know nothing. Like, I was telling myself this. But you know, those are my insecurities talking to me. I was reflecting my own insecurities onto myself. The insecurities that I had, you know, brought with me over time, the ones that I never let go because I felt like I wasn't good enough, felt like I wasn't smart enough, felt like I wasn't strong enough, felt like I wasn't fine enough. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, I was enough. I was exactly where I needed to be, and I was exactly who I needed to be. And I didn't need to change for anybody. And growing up, I always felt like I had something, but I didn't know what that was, you know. But now I know, you know. And it can be scary, especially as a kid, especially for those out there who feel like, you know, something is made for me in this world, like in this life. I just don't know what it is. Especially if you had that feeling all your life, but you ignored it. You was like, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to accept it. Stop ignoring it, okay? Stop ignoring it. Embrace it, and don't be afraid to embrace it. And I had to learn to be like that. Like, I had to learn to embrace who I am, because the whole time I'm getting to know myself, the whole time I'm reventing, I'm changing, I'm learning. I'm over here like, well, damn, where did I fall off? Because I've been like this my whole life. Like, the whole me it's been me the whole time, but I wasn't putting the me out there, you know what I mean? So it's just like, when I seen it, I was just like, dang, what was I hiding from? Who was I hiding myself from this whole time? Because who do I have to be afraid of? Like, I'm afraid of myself to be myself. It doesn't make sense. Because of people and how they feel about me. Because of how they feel about their own selves. And when I learned that other people reflect insecurities onto you, let me tell you something. I ain't never been the same. Because it started to make me, I know, because I'm the kind of person, I know when I need to take accountability for something. But at the same time, I'm going to look over the situation, and I'm going to see where it was me and where it was them. Now, if I'm looking at the situation and I'm nowhere to be found, why are you coming at me like that? You get what I'm saying? Why are you acting like that? You see what I mean? And that's what I had to realize, that people have their own trauma. People have their own insecurities, their own world, their own everything that they're going through. And that what they have going on has nothing to do with me. I can't fix everybody, and I can't look for anybody to save me. You see what I mean? And when I learned, like, I had to save myself, like, I tell you, I've been doing this shit alone. The hardest part, see these eyes? I feel like I'm about to cry right now, because that's how hard it was, like, doing this shit, like, with no physical support, you know. Spiritually, support. Physically, it's no support, because you don't have people who understand, especially when you're the one teaching people. It's like, I'm the one teaching people, so I have to be the one to go through it, right? I have to be the one to come out of it, because I'm the only one who can do it sometimes. But I know I'm not the only one who can do it, but I have to, you know what I mean, tell people, like, you can do it too. So don't be afraid to embrace who you are. Don't ignore that feeling inside that's calling you to do something, because if you keep ignoring it, it's just gonna keep coming. It's gonna keep calling. It's gonna be, hey, remember me? You know? So don't let that voice be like, remember me? You know? But after getting through, like, you know, all of my stages of depression, mental clarity, understanding who I was, understanding my spirituality, the world, the earth, and understanding how everything is connected, I'm still learning. But after learning all of that, it has pushed me into a position where I feel like now I'm able to actually do this for y'all. Because at first I was like, I was telling y'all, I was like, you know, I'm gonna put a video about how y'all can clear y'all mind from clutter and this and this and that. But in reality, I was still a little cluttered myself. So I'm like, how am I gonna put a video out if I'm not really spiritually prepared, mentally prepared, physically prepared? You know what I mean? Because when I say I reinvented myself, it was not just mentally, it was spiritually and physically, mind, body, and soul. Okay, and it had to be that way. And it all started from obesity. Just for y'all who are curious about how one of the other ways it started with obesity. It started with that, and that's for another story on health and fasting. But yes, but yeah, but I just wanted to get this video out to you guys, and I hope this video helps y'all in some type of way, and I just hope y'all are just excited as me for the next video that I have coming out. I'm probably record it tomorrow and get it out to y'all soon this week. Yeah, because I have a whole lot of I have a lot of stuff to talk about. Like, that's the thing, like, it'd be so much to talk about, like, and it's like I don't know where to start sometimes, but I have a start. I have a position, a pointing position that I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna get it out to y'all. Okay, so yes, I do hope y'all enjoyed this video, and as always, I love you guys. And if you are going through depression right now, stay strong. Stay strong. Tell yourself, I am strong every day. Tell yourself, I'm getting stronger every day, mentally, physically, spiritually. I am getting stronger. And I know a lot of people don't believe in spirituality and stuff like that, which is cool. I'm not knocking anybody off what they believe, but this video was just for anybody who needs it, you know what I mean? But I'll praise the Most High. I hope y'all enjoy this video.